Oh, hey everybody, how you doing? Tekking and Barry here. There's probably some other berries in the background. Welcome to Geography is Everything. It's been a while since the last episode, yeah, so thanks for your patience. Geography must live on after all. Today is a very special episode, and I'm actually really excited because today I get to show you this glorious piece of art. I would probably say this is the single greatest, and I know this is a bold claim. I understand how bold this claim is, but I would say, in my opinion, this is the greatest piece of geography-based art ever crafted by human hands. It might have not even been crafted by human hands. Gods themselves might have had trouble with this, but okay, so a couple of weeks back, I was at a gem show, just like a little event in the area, a little gem show that sold like, various jewelry and like gemstones and like things made out of gems and like figurines and like, carved wooden boxes and that kind of stuff. I found myself there, as you do. And I go in not really expecting to find anything that I see that like, oh wow, I really need to buy this. But then I saw this masterpiece. You might want to wear some sunglasses for this. I know I'm going to. I don't know if your eyes are going to be able to properly convey back to your brain how epic this thing is. Like, if magical items could exist in our world, this is certainly one of them. Okay, as I've hyped this up enough, or not enough, here we are, presenting the greatest globe in the history of globes. And that's actually a thing. There are a lot of historical globes on this planet. A golden globe that has gemstones inlaid in the earth itself to represent the various countries and continents, like Canada. I don't know what gemstone this is that makes up Canada, but it's absolutely glorious. Boom! Look at that. Look at Africa. Look at all the gemstones there. Oh my god, it's incredible. All right, Barry, I think there is no greater crown for your majesty. It would be my honor, Barry, to lay this globe upon your brick head. We good? Okay. Gotta be honest there, I was kind of halfway expecting the universe to rip apart at the seams at that one particular moment, but I think we're good. Okay, so, yes, you will all bow down before the glorious brick with a globe on his head. Okay, so, today, a special episode of Geography is Everything. This is something that is hotly requested. We're going to be talking about the one and only, that's right, Mirrorball Island. The island, probably the single most famous island in the entire East Blue, that the Straw Hats never visit, except the one time they did in a featurette before a movie, but we'll get into that in a second, okay? So, Mirrorball Island is located in the east, and it, of course, gets its name from the giant mirror ball that's on the island. There are two different variations of Mirrorball Island. One is shown in a cover story, Jango's Dance Paradise, and the other variation is shown in a featurette that aired before the second One Piece movie, so the Clockwork Island Adventure, yeah. So if you went to the spring anime fair way back in like 2001 to see the second One Piece movie, before it aired, you were treated to a 5-minute featurette with the Straw Hats arriving on Mirrorball Island, and it appears a little differently there. It was called Jango's Dance Carnival. So whether or not it's a paradise or a carnival, Mirrorball Island is a pretty interesting area, and so we'll talk about it today. But before we talk about Mirrorball Island, we have to talk about Jango, because he's sort of the main character for this arc, either way, in either the paradise or the carnival, okay? So Jango, as you remember, is the hypnotist on Captain Kuro's Black Cat crew, and he was the acting captain after Kuro had his master plan to leave the crew and become a butler and get some money from Kaya's inheritance or some bullcrap. I don't really remember what Kuro's whole plan was, but at any rate, Kuro gets defeated by Luffy, he gets headbutted, and the rest of the Black Cat crew carry him onto the ship and get him away. Now, Jango was defeated by Usopp and Zoro working together with the Veggie Pirates, and he was actually left on the island. He was left in Syrup Village, and he just kind of wakes up in the middle of the forest like, oh, where am I? And so the Black Cat Pirates, his crew, left him, so he's like, bummer, man. So it's like, what am I gonna do? And so he lives on the island for a little while. He goes into town to try to get some dinner. One of the Veggie Pirates, one of the Usopp Pirates, sees him, and they chase him out of town. And so he's like, man, I gotta get out of this place. I gotta go somewhere where it's funky, somewhere with a lot of dance and power. And so he gets into a ship and he sails to the one place he could call home. That's right, Mirrorball Island. You really get the impression that Jango was like, he was doing the whole thing on the Black Cat crew, and he was the vice captain under Kuro, and he was the acting captain while he was gone. But then you have a moment where Jango probably just realizes, like, this was stupid. This was stupid. Like, I was a pirate, and then, because Captain Kuro didn't want to be a pirate, he got to leave, but he still kind of wanted to be part of a plan, so I had to listen to him. And it was just like, you get to a point where Jango's like, Captain Kuro's gone. The rest of the crew left me. I'm out of here. I'm doing my own thing. I'm forging my own destiny, man. And so he gets on his ship, and he sails away to Mirrorball Island, which is, of course, a place that he probably read all about, and he's like, man, if I ever get a vacation, if I'm ever done with this pirate crap, I'm going here, okay? So he arrives on Mirrorball Island. When he gets there, he still has an active bounty of 9 million, which for the East Blue is pretty high. 9 million berries. Captain Kuro's was 16. I think the average bounty is only 3 million in the East, so anything above that is pretty impressive. So he has 3 times the average bounty. So he ditches his pirate clothes. He takes off his glasses, which that was a funny scene because Jango has those heart-shaped glasses, and when he takes them off, he actually has heart-shaped eyes, so that was something kind of funny. And of course, if you haven't assumed, the whole premise of Mirrorball Island is dancing and singing. Mostly dancing, okay? The whole island is basically set up like a 70s discotheque, so that's pretty much it. In the cover pages, Mirrorball Island kind of resembles this. So you got an actual island with a town, and then you have a giant Mirrorball dome on the island itself with a mirror ball extending out of the top of it, and you can go inside of the dome, and it's like an all-night rave. All-night and all-day rave, okay? It's pretty cool. And in the featurette before the movie, in the Dance Carnival, the entire island itself is actually covered in a dome more like this, which looks remarkably unsafe because that dome is made out of glass, and if the thing were to shatter, it would just rain, shards of razor-sharp glass down on the populace. But what are the odds of that happening? Oh, and there's a freaking disco ball swinging from the top of the dome. My God, architects, and there is no safety commission in the One Piece world whatsoever. Anyway, so I kind of like this version of the island a little better because it is a little bit more One Piece, an entire island surrounded by a disco ball, but the version that Oda drew was maybe just teensy bit more practical, and it still had the dome on it. It was just a lot smaller and didn't cover up the whole island. But at any rate, Jango arrives on the island, and, everybody's dancing there, so he fits right in. This is the kind of place where you wake up and you start dancing. You don't walk down the street, you dance down the street. Everybody dances. When you're walking your dog is dancing down the street. Your cat is dancing on the windowsill. The rats and mice are dancing in the street, man. It's so much fun. You're like, man, I need to go to the bakery. It's like, well, the bakery's right down there. Ah, cool. Where's the post office? Right down there, man. And you start dancing into the post office, and you just mail your stuff, and everybody's like, yeah, you mailed it. And then they go into a dance number. It's like living in a musical. It's living in a musical where every mundane thing you do in your life requires some sort of dance number. Like there's at any time, backup dancers are ready to go. So think about that in your life. Think about something in your life like, oh man, I gotta get my license renewed. I gotta go to the DMV, how it is, sitting in the waiting room, number 42. You're number 87, so it's like, oh god, it's gonna be all day here. But imagine how much more epic that would be, because there's still a DMV and everything on Mirrorball Island, of course. But imagine how much more epic that would be if you had backup dancers. Like, anytime you wanted, you could just be like, finally, number 87, number 87, boom, and then, like, out of the walls of the DMV, like, walls are just turning around and people are just dancing, number 87, and like, you just walk in. So, man, that's what Mirrorball Island is. I've just summed it up perfectly. So, Jango shows up. And he sees a dance competition, right? And given this kind of place, there's probably a dance competition every hour on the hour in this place, but so whatever. Jango decides to enter, and you can imagine it's a very stiff competition. Very, very stiff competition. But it only comes down to 2 dancing fools at the end. And of course, that's Jango and his opponent in the finals, Marine Lieutenant Fullbody. That's right, it turns out he took 7 years of interpretive dance before he became a Marine. Or maybe that was was part of the Marine, boot camp, to learn how to dance. I don't know. At any rate, Full Body's got the skills. So Full Body, he starts dancing. Jango, they start dancing, and it's emotional, man. These are like two gods dancing upon the stage of the universe. The crowd, everybody's crying. They're throwing flowers out of nowhere. They're just spawning flowers to throw at these men among men, dancing upon the earth itself. And so at the end of the competition, though, there can only be one true winner, and Jango wins the grand prize. He gets a huge freaking trophy, wins some berries, I imagine. But you know what? Full Body's not even upset. Full Body's there with the second place trophy, and he's just like, man, well, I've made a friend for life in you. I could tell by your dance that you are truly my best friend now. And Jango's like, I feel the same way, man. So they bond. Full Body and Jango bond. You ever wonder why Full Body and Jango are always hanging out with Hina? It's not just because Hina's extremely hot. I mean, that's part of the reason, don't get me wrong, but the main reason is because they had a bond through a dance competition on Mirrorball Island. This is why I want to see this stuff animated. Come on, Toei. Anyway, so, it doesn't take very long for the Marines to catch up to Jango, like they found his clothes. I guess Jango just took off his pirate outfit and just threw it in a trash can, and the Marines found it. It's like, we found the clothing of the hypnotist Jango. He's probably somewhere on this island. Some other pirates decide to attack, the Tulip Pirates, which are probably contenders for the lamest premise of a pirate crew in all of One Piece. Think about it, the Tulip Pirates. You get a captain, you could end up on the Straw Hat crew, or the Heart crew, or Kids Like Heavy Metal Punk crew. But no, you end up on the Tulip Pirates. Captain Tulip, that has a tulip growing out of his head, and he commands that all of the crew also make stupid tulip poses and also have flowers growing out of their heads. Wasn't that the premise of the 6th One Piece movie? Whatever, we'll get to that when we get to that. So anyway, Full Body, is a Marine, of course, and we actually get to display his strength in this chapter. Like, Full Body, yeah, Sanji kicked his ass during Baratie, because, Full Body was an asshole. He was trying to get Sanji fired with the bug in the soup and everything. But Full Body's actually pretty strong. He's able to decimate pretty much the entirety of the Tulip Pirate crew, the greatest threat that the East Blue has seen since Arlong, I'm sure. Full Body beats the crap out of them, and Jango takes this opportunity to get away. So he's just like, screw this, I'm out of here. I won the prize, I have all this money. It sucks I have to say goodbye to a friend, but, the Marines are busy. If I stick around, they're gonna find out about me, so I gotta leave. So he's about to leave the island when one of the Tulip Pirates takes a hostage. And so Full Body is, like, kind of defeated because he can't harm the hostage. And then, boom, that's when Jango shows up back in his pirate attire. He has his outfit on, he takes out his chakrams, which he uses to hypnotize people, and it's Jango and Full Body teaming up that managed to beat down the Tulip Pirates and save the entire world. If the Tulip Pirates were left unchecked, guys, it would have been more devastating than the second coming of Roxy Zebek himself, right? Okay. Now, it's actually kind of an interesting moment where after the fight, Full Body and Jango, they kind of like, oh man, we're buds. Yeah, oh, you were Jango this whole time. But it's like, hey, dude, listen, I appreciate you coming back to help me. I appreciate, the dance that we shared. We're like best friends now, of course. But the thing is, you're a pirate and I'm a Marine. And so I have my duty to the world government. I gotta bring you in. So he chains up Jango and brings them, I guess still on Mirrorball Island, there happens to be a courtroom. This isn't Enies Lobby or anything like that, or one of the judicial ships that like Tom was tried at. This really does seem like this is still on Mirrorball Island. So he chains them up and brings them to the courthouse where there's 3 judges where, it's the One Piece world. You bring a pirate before judges of the world government that work for the Marines and stuff, they're gonna be like, execute him and go to lunch. Like, they're not even gonna bother, right? And so that's when Full Body springs into action, though, with his masterful plan to get Jango off the hook, because obviously Full Body does not want to see his new friend executed. So the plan, which could probably only happen in One Piece, the plan is for Full Body and the Marines that work under him to launch into the single greatest dance number ever shown. Pull out all the Broadway stops on this, Hamilton, Wicked, whatever. Bust out the single greatest dance number so the entire courtroom gets swept up into the dance, gets all swept up into the action, and they have no choice but to let Jango off. And it works, too! They bust down into a dance number, Full Body starts dancing, the Marines start dancing, all of the jury start getting up and dancing, the judges start dancing, the whole freaking... It's like I said, it's like backup dancers come out of nowhere, the whole stage in the courtroom kind of pulls aside like it is in a Broadway musical, and there's like platforms that come down, and there's people dancing out of the ceiling and everything, and it's just like, yeah! And so after the greatest dance-off ever... the judges are like, you know what? That was great. He's free to go. He's out of here. You know, the only thing is, Full Body, you are demoted to Seaman Recruit, which is both very funny and also that's the payment. Like, if you want Jango to go free, you have to be demoted in the Marines. That's just how it goes, right? And, originally, I was misremembering this. Originally, I thought it was Jango is freed and Full Body's demoted, but another requirement was that Jango had to join the Marines and work alongside Full Body. Like, that was the reason he got off. It doesn't seem like that in the cover page. It actually seems like Jango's about ready to leave the island. Like, he's about ready to leave and go away. Maybe, you know, to go do something else. Maybe not be a pirate anymore. That was also part of the, like, it's like, man, that was the greatest dance number ever. I don't even know how you choreograph that so fast, but that was insane. Tell you what, he can go free. We won't execute him, but he's not allowed to be a pirate anymore. How about we agree with that? And then you are demoted. How about we agree with that? So maybe that was the situation. But as they were about to part ways, they spy Hina. Hina's there as well, and they immediately fall in love with Hina, Jango, and Full Body, and they're like, wow, okay, we're gonna stick around. And so that's how Jango ends up joining the Marines as a seaman recruit, and Full Body's demoted to that rank. And so that begins the whole thing of how both of them were together, you know, at Alabasta and also Marineford. That also explains when they first appear in the canon of the manga and the anime at Alabasta, they're dancing on Hina's ship. That's because that's how they met. So yeah, I really wish that the cover pages would be animated for that reason, because it kind of ties everything back together. But yeah, that's the epic adventure of Jango and Full Body and how they met on Mirrorball Island. But before we go, I have one more thing to show you. So this is the One Piece featurette before the second movie, The Dance Carnival. It's only 5 minutes long, and it basically serves as a glorified music video for Folder 5. Folder 5 was the band that sang the second One Piece opening, Believe. Okay, and so they had another song called Ready with an exclamation mark, and so they basically built up this whole featurette to have a moment with the Straw Hat crew dancing along to Folder 5, which, by the way, is an awesome band, and Ready is an amazing song. So it's pretty much just a trimmed down or like an abridged version of the Dance Paradise. Full Body does not appear in this one. Jango is still on the island, but he's actually being pursued by a random Marine captain that just refuses to wear a shirt, which I will just call him Captain Shirtless. Hey, there's already a Vice Admiral Stainless, so this is Captain Shirtless. Every job he's ever tried to do, he didn't want to wear a shirt. I'll do your job at McDonald's, but I'm not wearing a shirt. And they're like, yeah, I'm sorry, we can't hire you. And he's like, dang it. And then he goes to try to become, I don't know, a postal carrier. And be like, I'll carry your mail for you, but I'm not wearing a shirt. And they're like, okay, we can't hire you. Then he goes to the Marines, like, I'll be a Marine for you, but I'm not wearing a shirt. And they're like, yeah, okay, we can work with that. Approved. And so he rises to the ranks, and he's Captain Shirtless. We never find out his name. And so he finds Jango dancing the Thriller dance in a random bar called Pirate Bar, which, okay, I gotta admit, if you're a Marine captain and you land on an island, the first place I would probably go to catch pirates is Pirate Bar. That probably makes sense. So they walk in, and Jango is really doing the Thriller dance on top of a counter, because Michael Jackson is the basis for Jango's design. So he's up there dancing, not drawing any attention to himself whatsoever. The captain sees him, and he's like, well, if it isn't Jango the Hypnotist, time to, you know, bring him in. And Jango's like, oh no, and so he runs away. The Straw Hats are in this, but they are really just in the background, like, hey, isn't that Jango? Yeah, oh well, the Marines are chasing after him. Oh well, what do you know? Good for him, whatever. And so the Marines also spy Luffy, and so the Straw Hats have to start running away. Luffy and the crew jump off of a roof, and they land on the aforementioned giant disco ball swinging to and fro in the middle of this giant dome boom. So they hit the freaking disco ball. It starts swinging back and forth like a pendulum, or like, you know, Jango's chakrams. And so Jango, while he's being pursued by Captain Shirtless, jumps up on the giant, you know, DJ booth or whatever that's out of the entire island, and he picks up the microphone and he's just like, hey, everybody, you're gonna dance until you drop as soon as that music starts. And he takes out his chakram and he's like, 1, 2, Jango! Right as Captain Shirtless is about to bring down the sword and cut his head off, all of a sudden, you know, the music kicks up and it's Ready by Folder 5. I'll leave a link to the song down below because it is pretty bumpin'. It is pretty epic. And so then we get to the music video portion of this. This was like AMVs before AMVs. This was like in 2001 this came out. And so you have all of the Straw Hats, all of the Marines, everybody on the island, even this random old guy that just wakes up. This is a random old dude, but he's a random old dude that lives on Mirrorball Island, all right? So he wakes up to the beat, and he goes outside. He's like, what's going on out here? Oh, everybody's having a big dance-armageddon, a dance-armageddon. It's happened before. Well, let me show you how Grandpa cuts a rug. And so the old man starts dancing up and down the alley. Oh my God, it's a funny scene. And it's through the combination of everybody dancing. Captain Shirtless is there. He's doing this goofy, like, yeah! You know? So everybody's doing this big dance number. The vibrations of the synchronized choreographed dance number from the thousands of people on Mirrorball Island caused the entire disco ball to break from the freaking ceiling, and just rains of shards of glass fall on the populace. And nobody dies, hopefully, there. The Straw Hats manage to get away. They're all exhausted from dancing the night away, and they just sail away, leaving Luffy and Jango still on top of the disco ball in the middle of the ocean, just dancing. So it's kind of funny because the episode literally ends, the little featurette literally ends with the Straw Hats just abandoning Luffy, and they're like, maybe we should go get him, and Sanji's like, I'm not going after him, I'm too tired, man. And so the Mary just sails away, and then Luffy and Jango are just spent dancing. And it's funny because, like, dance until you drop was the hypnotism command, so obviously Luffy has a lot of stamina, so he'll be dancing for a few days, probably, right? Dancing the night away there. And so that's the end of the featurette. It's never been officially released in any sort of format. It is out on YouTube if you want to find it. But it's a goofy little moment of One Piece history, if nothing else. And so, yeah, that's Mirrorball Island. Probably the only other thing to mention is it was said in an SBS that, you know how in One Piece Oda draws those different clothing brands for the, you know, the characters to wear? Criminal. Smile is Doflamingo's thing. Criminal is the brand that Papagu designed at Fishman Island with the star and the stitch pattern over it. So that's probably the most famous. But another type of clothing line that exists is Doskoi Panda. And the headquarters for the Doskoi Panda line are on Mirrorball Island. And Oda actually explained this in an SBS. So there you go. Go visit Mirrorball Island. It's got the giant mirror ball of death, and it's also got the headquarters for Doskoi Panda, if you want to work for a fashion designer, I guess, which might have been maybe Django's idea. Maybe he wanted to go there and dance the night away and also get a job designing clothing. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, that's Mirrorball Island. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's gaze upon the gloriousness of the golden gem globe one more time as we close it out. Later, everybody. 87, 87, not 86, but 87.